Chapter 2, Planning.
I didn't bother eating. I didn't feel like it. I kept thinking of those boys and all of the fun that they had had in the swimming hole. I could see them running and swinging and sliding and jumping. I thought of the rope hanging from the tree limb. I thought of the steep bank that up until now had been a sign of defeat to me. Now it looked enticing and exciting. I thought of the log resting near the water. I had crawled out on that log myself, but only to bask in the summer sun, never to spin and balance and try to throw an opponent into the water. Well, I wasn't a boy. I was a turtle. Though it didn't seem fair that boys had all the fun, I knew there was little use longing to become one. I knew of no way that I could change who I was. I thought and thought about it, but thinking didn't change anything. I was Pogo Turtle. I couldn't play like a boy. Then another thought came to me. It made me feel a little better about myself. I was pretty good at being a turtle, pretty good at leading the local fellas, even if I did say so myself. I heaved a big sigh and went to look for Woody. I was ready for a game now. Even water tag would be better than swimming around alone and in such a forlorn mood. I found Woody without much difficulty. He and Snapper and Tubbsy and Flip were busy teasing the girls, Sissy and Kama. The girls were trying to build a castle in the sand along the creek, and the boys kept pushing the rooms over with their noses. I knew that it wouldn't be long until the girls would be screaming to our parents, "Come on, fellas, let's find some action. This is a bore." They seemed glad to see me and quite willing to follow me. The girls looked relieved, too. The boys all started down to the water, and just before I joined them, I turned to the sandcastle and gave one giant shove with my nose. Almost half of the whole south side went tumbling down, and I grinned to myself as Sissy hollered, and Kama began to scream for her mama to come and chase away the mean boys. I followed the boys down the bank and into the water. Even before we hit the stream, there were cries of,
Not it!
Not it!
Not it!
I pretended not to notice. Truth was, I wanted to be it. I wanted to prove to myself and to show the other fellas just how good I was in the water.
Pogo's it! Pogo's it!
I just grinned and treaded water while I picked out my victim. I didn't go for an easy tag. I mentally discarded all of the poor swimmers one by one. Then I noticed Flip. I knew that next to me he was the best swimmer in our pool. He knew it, too. In fact, there were rumors that he was practicing daily, on the sly, that is, hoping to one day be able to beat me. Well, it wouldn't be today, I determined, and with a quick move I scooted sideways and swam after Flip. My move caught him by surprise, but even so, he was a few feet ahead of me when we started out. I guess that I expected to catch him easily, but after just a few strokes, I knew that it was going to be tougher than that. Flip must have been practicing all right. He was considerably faster than the last time I had chased him. Once I had started chasing Flip, I was sort of committed. To turn aside and chase someone else instead would be to concede defeat, and I wasn't about to do that. I was sure that I would corner him when we came up to the dead tree and leaned out over the creek and rested in the water. But he did a smartly done dive right under it and came up on the other side, still swimming strong. It was a bit unnerving to have my superiority challenged. What if Flip should beat me? I gritted my teeth and dived under the log myself, and off we were, swimming round and round in the murky waters of the swimming hole, the rest of the fellas cheering us on. Round and round we went. I was sure that the game wasn't too exciting for the others who were present, for with Flip and I determined to outswim one another, no one else was getting a turn. Still, I wouldn't give up. I was determined to catch Flip if it took the rest of the afternoon. Flip must have been just as determined. Round and round we went, down the south bank, round the corner, under the dead tree, through the bulrushes, dipping in and out of the willow's hanging branches, past the oak tree, round the corner, past the catfish hollow, against the protruding rock, and around the corner to the south bank, and on and on. I was getting tired. I'm not sure if I ever would have caught Flip had he not made a small mistake. It happened as we passed the protruding rock. Now he knew that rock just as well as I did. We had played on it and around it so many times that we knew well the shape of it. It wasn't exposed above the water, but underneath it was as plain as day. It rounded smoothly for the first half of the way around, and then suddenly jutted out another several inches. Flip must have forgotten about the extension, or else he was just too tired to get around it, for coming around the corner, instead of veering out around, he ran smack into the side of that rock. It slowed him down just enough to give me opportunity to give one final push and catch him. A howl went up from the other fellas. I had finally won, and now Flip was it. Flip was too tired to be it. He would never have been able to catch anyone, even our poorest swimmer. No one said anything, but we all crawled out of the water onto logs or rocks or the creek bank, and Flip and I sprawled out, heaving from the exertion, trying to catch our breath again. For the present, the game was over. I had won the round, but I had been given a real challenge. I determined as I lay there, eyes half shut, sides heaving, that I'd better do a little practicing of my own if I wanted to stay top dog. The gang wasn't content to let us rest for long. They weren't tired, and they wanted to be moving on to something else.
Let's go dive off the log.
Well, that's kid stuff.
Let's go tease Grandpa Toad.
Now, Grandpa Toad, who really wasn't Grandpa to any one of us, had always been a real source of entertainment in the past. We loved to torment him, and I was usually the leader. But today even that didn't seem like fun. Because I didn't jump right up and lead the pack, the fellas took that for my negative vote. Everyone was silent, as though waiting for me to come up with some better idea. I took my time. Fact was, I needed the rest. I pretended to be thinking deeply of something that would really be outrageously funny. I closed my eyes and tried to slow down my breathing. Silently, I wondered if Flip was as tired as I was, but beyond that, I wasn't ready to do any thinking at all. I was still too tired. Besides, there was no hurry. At the creek bank, there was always plenty of time.